Hello, welcome to today's episode of the Tying Corner at Sweetwater Fly Shop. My name is James and we got Brewer behind the camera today for us. Today we're going to be tying another shop favorite, the CDC Pheasant Tail on a jig hook. This is a great fly. It seems to catch a lot more trout than whitefish compared to a lot of other nymphs that we have out here, so let's get started here. We're going to be using a size 16 jig hook and a 2.8 millimeter tungsten bead and some small brown thread. Another real simple, quick, and effective pattern.
Small brown being, is that a 70 denier?
Yes.
Okay.
It is 70 denier. Alright, first things first, we'll grab a little sliver off of the pheasant tail.
But roughly how many fibers?
Probably like 4 or 5.
Okay.
Definitely not an exact science here for us. Alright, I'm going to do a couple thread wraps on the back right there. And then I'm going to fold my pheasant tail back over and do a couple more thread wraps in the same place like that. And
how did you determine the length of your tail there? What seems right for you?
What seems right. I don't like a really long pheasant tail on mine. I don't know, if you take a look at mayfly nymphs, the tail's probably going to be around a body length in length or so. I like mine a little shorter sometimes. Not very important, just don't make them too long. Alright, now we're securing some wire down to go back over the body here in a second. Alright, so first we'll grab that pheasant tail that we put down first. Alright, and then we're gonna make our body out of the tag end here. Just a couple wraps around the hook shank like that. And we'll take our thread and make a couple wraps here. Make sure that pheasant tail stays nice and secure on the hook shank. Trim it off. Now we'll take our wire ribbing, start following our pheasant tail. If you can, try to go the opposite way that you just did. It'll help secure those fibers down. Called counter ribbing. Alright, then we'll get that piece of wire off.
What size wire is it? Is it small? Is it midge? Just curious.
I think this is a small or a brassy. I don't know, its old label's gone. Alright, next thing we're going to do is put a little piece of flash on the underside for a little flashback. I'm using just some pearl flashaboo. And then we're going to try to secure that piece of flash right on the top side of the jig hook. And we'll sort of go back maybe about a bead length back from the top there. Can you see that, Brewer?
Mm-hmm. And you've got the hook in upside down right now, kind of inverted.
I
so
do.
The
I
flashback
see,
comes over the top.
Yeah, I see a lot of people tying wing casings on jig hooks either on the bottom or the top. I don't think it makes too much of a difference, but my OCD, I'm going to tie my wing case on the right side of the fly as it would be on a bug. Next thing here, we're going to put down some peacock curl and make
just one strand?
One strand is all I'm using for the size 16. We're going to wrap it around up towards the bead head here. Watch out for your piece of flash, it'll want to get in the way here. Alright, just build up a little bit of a thorax with your peacock curl there. and a couple thread wraps down to secure it. Go ahead and snip off the excess there. Now I'm going to flip it over and get a couple loose wraps on the wing casing first. Make sure it's right where you want it. A couple more to secure it. Alright, now the final piece on this fly that I think adds a lot of realistic motion and part of the reason this fly catches so many fish. We're going to put this little CDC feather on it, and if you see, I've stripped off a lot of those feathers, and it'll just be this little wedge at the back. Alright. Alright. Now if you see, I've kind of separated my fibers there so we just have that good tie-in point. We're going to take that tip, get a couple wraps down there, snip off the little tip there, and I'm going to take my hackle pliers here and a little bit of CDC goes a long way, so I'm just going to have enough on here to do one little wrap around the bead head right where the collar is. Just one wrap is all you need, and then a couple thread wraps to secure that CDC feather down. Alright, and then you can go ahead and take your finger, brush everything back, and get a couple more securing thread wraps down. I like to try to go right over top of the stem that you just rolled around the hook there. If you go over it with your thread, it'll help secure that CDC feather in, and whip finish it, and you're done. Definitely a great pattern to try any time of year on the Yellowstone. CDC Pheasant Tail, give it a shot. Take it easy.